It's time for Portland Wrestling 2000s. Now, here he is, your number one host, Frank Culbertson.
Hey, wrestling fans, it's Frank Culbertson back on a very special edition of Portland Wrestling 2000s as we look back at the life of Don Coss, the legendary Portland wrestling announcer, who I just learned passed away recently. Now, Don joined Don Owens Portland Wrestling in 1982 after the passing of the legendary Frank Bonema. And he did a great job all the way up until the end of the Don Owen promotion in 1991. Now, Don's style was a little different than Frank. Frank was very deadpan. Don just a little bit more animated, but he never made it about himself. In fact, John McAdam of the Stick to Wrestling podcast said it took him years to learn Don Coss's last name because Don never made it about himself. That was one of the lessons that I took from Don was nobody was going to pay a ticket to see Don Coss in the wrestling ring, and no one was ever going to pay a ticket to see me in a wrestling ring. It was always about the wrestlers, the performers, the ones that the fans really cared about. That was the humility of Don and one of the greatness of Don. Now, after I started, Don and I became business partners in Portland Wrestling 2000s. And also I would go and work for Don Coss at his La Pantera Hispanic radio station as he would set up meetings for me with Chamber of Commerce's or other business groups. And I would go and talk about the benefits of advertising on Hispanic radio. So Don also brought some great things in. Through his connections, we were able to do a state fair show. The Keizer Stadium show was a result of that. And so today I just want to show you three clips of three things I know Don was really, really proud of his work with me on Portland Wrestling. The first one is going to be a night where Don Coss, Roddy Piper, and Tom Peterson were all together for the very last time. Don loved those two guys, and that's not hyperbole. That is, Don absolutely loved Roddy and loved Tom Peterson for all that he had done. So let's take a look at a bit of that as the three of them get together on Portland Wrestling.
And this is very, very exciting for me to make this announcement. As you know, the board of directors has on its board a man who is a legend in professional wrestling around the world. A man who has held every heavyweight championship title in every country around the world. A man who is truly a legend. He is a member of the board of directors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Roddy Piper.
Wrestling fans, there he is, the legend, the icon, Roddy Piper. Kissing the babies, the man, a wrestling legend, as Don Coss said at WrestleMania in Hollywood, going into the WWE Hall of Fame, made his mark here at Portland Wrestling, and now on the board of directors.
It's great to be seen, thank you. There is so much to be said about this man. I didn't even cover the movies and all that stuff, and
there's so much to be said, but we can't say it on the air.
No, we can't.
No, we can't.
It is a family show. That's right. But you know, Roddy, we've been talking about Portland wrestling and where you started, and certainly where I started, way back there. And now we're way up here.
Yeah, you know, Portland wrestling has been a breeding ground for some of the biggest stars we have today, and it's always a pleasure for me to come back and see those young tyrants back there. They scare me to death. I hate snakes, okay? Even the well-dressed ones, all right? We got snakes out there. They got more people. They got reptiles. They crawl on their belly. More things than I ever seen before. Mama told me not to come, but I come anyway, because Portland Wrestling is the #1 wrestling league in the nation. It ain't the biggest. It's just the best. Now, as far as being old, you know what? They ain't seen nothing yet, man. They ain't seen nothing yet. No. I look at it this way. I look at yourself, and I look at the people that have supported Portland wrestling over the years, and there's one man that comes to mind. Who would that man be? Not Buddy Rose, that's 3 men. Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, if you get the answer to this question, you get a trip for 2 around Buddy Rose. Absolutely.
And group insurance.
And group insurance. There's one man that has been an institution in Portland, Oregon. When I was here, he's not only a friend to Portland Wrestling, he's my friend, and his name is Mr. Tom Peterson. Please. Tom, God bless you, man. God bless you.
You know, Tom, Roddy and I were talking before that, quite frankly, if it had not been for Tom Peterson, Roddy, you and I might not even be standing here today.
I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't have no kids. Very sad.
That was really a spectacular night, a great night for me to watch and see the 3 legends of Portland wrestling together for one last time. And the ladies' choices in the background, and him and Piper would get into a deal that we had started back at the WB studios when Portland Wrestling, I started that in 2001. But now let's go to another Roddy Piper episode with Don Coss at Keizer Stadium. And Piper's going to be in the ring, and Don's going to be in there interviewing him. There's going to be some chaos that happened. Now, it was planned for the chaos to start and Don to leave and come and join me on commentary. But Don decided just to back himself into the corner of the cage and start talking from there until things got really hectic. And well, you'll hear Don say, "You're on your own now, Roddy." So let's go to that clip. It's Roddy Piper, Don Coss in a steel cage with the Grappler and several others.
Explode as there he is, Roddy Piper making his way to the ring. Roddy Piper, Portland Wrestling's own, made his name here in Portland Wrestling. Went on to great things in the WWE, now in the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, making his way inside the steel cage where he has won many a match.
Did you know you'd done all those things?
I love you too, man. Cut that bagpipe music, man. Let me just take a look at these folks for a second. You are the best. You know, it's just like good old days of Portland wrestling. Got Jimmy Snooker here, and I'm out of coconuts. I'm scared to death. I saw kids back there, I was doing stuff I ain't never seen before. There's one guy back there, stage, he's got the Buddy Rose starter kit. He way out there like this. His pectorals are hanging down like this. Looks like he's had 6 litters of puppies. Oh yeah. I don't know who he is. I really don't care. Back there, every one of them young men are out to give you their heart and everything they got for you. And I'm here for that because you deserve it. And I'm proud to be here. Now, Mr. Coss, I understand that we do have a problem here. I'm the problem?
You know, for once, Roddy, for once, you might not actually be the problem. You may be the problem solver.
First of all, on the hook, you know, beef. Big old steer, beef, it's coming here. You know how you know why he wears a mask? Because he's got big, nasty green warts all over his face. You know something, Piper? I might wear a mask, but brother, I don't wear no dress like you. Tilt. So what you got under that dress there? Your girlfriend's lipstick. How hard would you like to go? Oh, I can tell you, brothers, all I see from here is those little skinny legs you got, brother. You got a heck of a lawsuit there. You can sue him for non-support. Why don't you take that off and show everybody your body? You're a wrestler, right? Go ahead and take that off. Give him a big round of applause. He wants to do it. Go ahead and take that off. But as ugly as you are, leave the mask on. Now, do you have a lot of those? Because he's got a big head. He's going to need some because he's just about as ugly as you are.
Hey, let me tell you something. Enough of this comedy act, Piper. The fact of the matter is I'm here for one reason. You've been sitting on this decision for way too long. Dr. Luther needs an opponent tonight in this steel cage, and it should be me. You know it. Don Coss, you know it. These people know it. But more importantly, the true legend of Portland Wrestling, the Grappler, knows it.
So you're telling me that you're the opponent for Dr. Luther?
Hell yeah.
What'd you eat today, anyway? I tell you, I'm the board of directors, and I'm the one going to tell you who's going to be in the ring with Dr. Luther. I don't like you at all, man.
Is that right, Piper? You think you're the boss out here?
Hey, hold it. This is supposed to be Piper's pit. This is not sanctioned by the board of directors. All right. Grappler goes face first into the... Wait a minute, hold it, you guys. This is turning into a back alley Pier 6 brawl. Hey, come on! Leave the man alone! Roddy, I'm sorry, buddy. I gotta get out of here. You are on your own now.
That was a real fun moment. Don came to the announcing desk with me, and we continued on till the match came to a hectic conclusion. And Don just afterwards said he didn't know what he was doing. He just backed himself into the corner. Don was having a great time that night. And so let's go to the final clip. And it was one that I know, a moment that Don Coss was really proud of in Portland Wrestling. Having been through the good times at Portland Wrestling, Don Owens through the very end when things were not good and not a lot of people were attending. And here he was going to announce with me and Jim Valley the Total Chaos pay-per-view. And this was a moment Don really took pride in being able to have a pay-per-view in his career. So let's go to that and listen to Don Coss, and you'll hear him at the end talk about Ring the Bell, and that's what we'll do in wrestling tradition right after that.
Wrestling fans, here it is, the very first ever Portland Wrestling pay-per-view. It is Total Chaos on Comcast. I am joined by Jim Valley. Jim, what an evening we have planned.
We have got a stacked card from top to bottom tonight. A Philly street fight between Mustafa and Billy Two Eagles tonight in this ring and probably all over the building.
We have an I Quit cage match. Jeremy Blanchard, Bubba Blanchard. It is not just a pinfall. One brother must say I quit to lose that match. It is going to be insane. We have a Marquis of Queensberry, Timothy Thatcher versus Virgil Flynn for the light heavyweight championship. 2 out of 3 falls. Fair fight, Jim.
And also we're talking the most awesome letters in wrestling today. TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. Tag team titles on the line. The Cartel against the AOD.
Unbelievable action. And yet, Jim, there is even more. Listen to the fans chant TLC. There is even more. It is for the very first time in Portland wrestling history for the Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Championship. It is Dr. Luther against Lester the Legend of the Cartel in a no-rope, barbed wire death match.
All these ropes are coming down, and they are going to be replaced with barbed wire. You are going to get your money's worth here tonight at Portland Wrestling Total Chaos.
Absolutely, and at this time, I'd like to bring in the man who has made all this possible. He is the president of Portland Wrestling, the board of directors, Mr. Don Coss. Don, what a great turnout we have here tonight, and all the fans watching at home on pay-per-view. Don, this is truly a historic night.
This is history in the making, gentlemen. And I tell you, I think back on the years that we've been at Portland Wrestling, the old Portland Wrestling, and now we've got the new. But we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the past.
Absolutely.
If it weren't for people like Don Owen and his family 80 years ago started Portland Wrestling. And today, look at this, a pay-per-view. This is definitely history in the making, and you guys have already laid it out. It's going to be more than exciting.
Absolutely. It is from top to bottom the most exciting, the most dramatic, the most dangerous matches ever in the history of Portland Wrestling. You are going to see from top to bottom action never before seen, Don. There's been Maine versus Bourne at the Coliseum. There's been Don Owens extravaganzas, but there has never been Total Chaos pay-per-view.
Never. Pay-per-view. This is it, baby. It's not going to get any bigger or better than this.
Don, is there anything left to say?
Ring the bell.
Hey, thanks for joining me here on this very special edition of Portland Wrestling 2000s as we celebrate Don Coss and 3 of the accomplishments that he had on Portland Wrestling that he really took pride in. So it's great. Thanks for joining me today. I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch more out there on the internet about Don Coss and his career. But thanks for joining me here on Portland Wrestling 2000s. As we say, that's wrestling the way it should be.